All right, let's try this. See if this works.
Places.
Camera's on.
Places. Testing. 1. I don't see a green light on you.
No?
You see, oh, yeah, I do. You see mine?
Yep. Let's try this. So I want to gradually, progressively get to less motion in your dinking to give you more consistency. Because right now you're using your whole body on every dink, and we don't need to. We need to get into position, and then a dink is a really short stroke, so we only need the arm from that point. Right?
So you want me to bend?
Yeah, well, what I don't want, so in a drop shot, we use our legs to lift, right? Because we're pushing the ball further. Okay. In a dink, we don't really need to do that, but you're doing it on pretty much every dink. So what I want is less movement, more arm. So get into position, hit your dink, but use primarily your arm. Let's take the extra additional movement out of it. Yeah. So just dink back and forth.
Bend, swing, bend, swing, bend just to get under it.
Yeah, you got to get under the ball for sure.
Whoops. There I go. What is this nasty little habit that I've started?
I don't know.
I can't move my legs. I'll get in trouble.
Okay, now you're taking it too far back, which is causing you to hit it too hard. Take it out front. Out front. There we go. Much better. Much better.
Not moving.
Good. Okay, let's go diagonally. Oops. Sorry.
Whoops. The hell, Brent?
I'm just making really bad contact right now. Give me a minute.
It's probably because you're autistic. Come on, that was funny as shit.
So you just did one of these, or you were moving, so it was one of these actually. Your arm and your leg were moving at the same time. That's what we want to take out of it.
I thought it was coming back to position.
There can be yeah, absolutely. Hit and then move back to position.
So from that to.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. It's like my new backhand. What the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Those are just skimming the net.
Right. Other side.
See, I'm kind of scared to move now.
Good.
Sorry.
Oops.
No. Here.
Jeez. Oh. Ah!
How are my feet that aren't moving?
Well, you're being nice and stable now.
Right? I can't even move. For fear that the teacher will yell at me.
Oh, jeez, that's terrible.
Ah, don't do that. What? How did I get that?
You're starting to square off more. You're moving your feet less. So your brain is trying to come up with a way to...
Not move my...
Yeah.
But I like this.
That's what we want, is an actual backhand. We don't want the racket changing hands. But listen, we work on one thing at a time.
I just started this like what? A week ago?
Yep. Maybe,
When you
yeah.
started frigging with my brain?
Oh.
Or my feet? Oh! Damn! Fuck! What is that? I don't want to do it.
Well, I mean, it's not ideal, but it also doesn't hurt to have an extra shot in your arsenal, right?
Yeah, but I'm doing it instead of my backhand.
Yeah.
And I've got a good backhand, right? I've got a good...
Yep.
That is way more controlled. Comes up. Whoop. Ah! I could feel myself doing that.
So I'm trying to move you around a little bit now.
Okay. Thought you missed it.
Okay, so let's really work on, while we're doing these, while I'm moving you around, plant before you hit.
I'm going to say it. Plant. 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 Ah! Plant. Whoa. See, if I would have been moving there, I would have got it.
So just like minimal backswing, we want minimal movement. So movement, but no more than is necessary. Backswing, but no more than is necessary.
Right.
Minimal movement, minimal backswing. Okay. Good. I'm deliberately trying to move you around.
Yeah. Better?
Yep.
Much better?
Much better.
Extremely better?
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to do this. We're going to dink back and forth, and we're going to move across to the sideline as we're dinking back and forth. Right?
So can I just tell you, in the course, remember we had that debate one day when we came back?
Yep, on
you
the
were
19th.
like lining up to the ball as opposed to lining up to the net.
Yep.
So which one?
Well, I still believe, so when the ball's kind of in the center of the court and you're not having to move far, then I think you want to be square to the net.
Sure.
But the greater the angle becomes, the more important it becomes to square off to the ball, because if I have a ball coming behind, like at this angle to my forehand, I've got to get my racket way back here to get it across the court. But if I turn a little bit sideways, I have more options, right? I don't want to be reaching out into weakness. I want to be able to face the ball. So, but that's different from what you're doing when your partner's got the ball. You're literally turning sideways to face your partner when you need to be doing this, right? Or if you're going to open up, if you want your feet to move a little bit. But right now you're literally stepping right over with your right leg facing this way, and then back, and then right over, and then back. And that's what we want to do.
I bet it's because I don't want to torque my knee. I bet it's because I'm thinking I don't want to torque.
Could be. Or you're not thinking, it's just a habit. I think it's just a movement habit.
You know how elderly people don't turn, they do this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think I'm doing that with my knee.
Okay.
So, and I don't need to do that anymore.
All right, so we're going to do the dinking back and forth and just moving laterally. So we'll start here, right on the sideline. All right. So rather than moving like this, right, I want to move like this. Right?
I was moving too wide.
Your habit is wide. We're just trying to change your habit.
Okay.
So a little more up on your toes. Think of being light on your feet, moving like a cat. So keep your feet moving. Active feet. One more set.
Is it better?
We're going to go back and forth one more time. One more set.
Tell me if it's better.
Yeah, you're doing great. Keep your feet active. Light on your feet. Awesome. So your feet should be tired. Are they a little bit tired?
My legs are. My feet aren't.
Yeah, your legs are.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Okay, so that habit of active feet, I can call it happy feet. If you spend the next 6 to 8 weeks doing this periodically when you're on the court, just to remind yourself to have happy feet, over time, the muscles in your feet and your leg will become accustomed to being in those positions, and they'll automatically, as a habit, they'll come back to those positions, right? And that'll help you by keep reminding yourself to do active feet. It'll help you prevent you from getting into this stance. So we want active feet, plant and hit, back to active feet or happy feet.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's think about that while we're dinking back and forth now.
I have started that a little bit. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. More. I was doing it more to get engaged.
Yep.
Like mentally.
Yeah, and I noticed it on the video from yesterday. There's moments when you're doing active feet, and I can see that you're processing, you're trying to bring your feet closer together, your shoulders are up, your chin is up, you're not hunched over as much.
I shouldn't have my chin up. I should have my chin down, right?
Well, no, before your forehead was kind of down all the time, and your feet were out wide, right?
Right.
But you want if your shoulders are hunched over, everything's going to be going down, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be up with your shoulders back, your chin up, right? I don't mean up. I mean just like not tipped forward, right? So you're in a kind of a neutral position, right? Especially on the volley, because then you're able to sit back. Whereas before, when you were hunched over, you would do the wrist hump. You'd just reach out and punch things, right? And now we're trying to have chin up, shoulders back, so that we can create this divot in our wrist. It's really difficult to lay the racket back if you're hunched over and you're spread out this way, because you end up just popping it out, and you end up, when you have to hit it down, you end up having to reach out and make a hump in your wrist.
Right.
So all that fits together, and I think it all comes back to your stance, so that if we work on this stance, just being a more active, neutral stance, it's going to improve your volleying and your dinking.
I noticed like 2 or 3 days ago that I woke up with pain right here. It might be because of this.
Yeah. So there's the small muscles in your feet. You know all about this, being an RMT. Yeah. But the small muscles in your feet take a while to build endurance.
Yeah.
Right? And they're not easily adaptable to new motions.
Yeah.
So it takes some time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't rush it. So, all right. So let's continue working on just active feet, planting.
Ah! I'm still doing a slide. I'm hitting and sliding.
All right. So
occasionally, I'm still doing a hit and then
yeah, that's fine. Hit and slide. Okay. What we want to avoid is the hit and slide simultaneous, which is what you were doing before. Sometimes if you get into a position, you pick a stance, say I'm here and I'm picking a stance, and I go to hit the ball, I realize, oh shit, it's a little bit shorter than I was expecting. This back foot is going to drag a little bit, but there's a difference between the back foot dragging a little bit so that you can maintain your balance and this. That's a different thing. It's
more of like making me a tripod.
Yes. Yeah, and sometimes there can be a little bit of motion back here. That's fine, as long as it's not a hitting through or moving through the stroke. Okay? So the propensity for you is on the right side to be doing this. It's on this side, forehand side, hitting across your body. Your tendency is to do that. And that's the main thing that we want to get rid of. It's not just happening on your strokes. It's also happening when your partner's beside you receiving the ball. You're turning. So it's this that we want to get out of your game, and we want to get some stability into it. Okay?
Yeah. Sorry, I was processing my
No worries.
hips. All right, so right now when I plant, I'm planting like this. But there's no problem with planting any other way.
You can plant
I'm just like...
Yeah, you can plant any way you want,
okay,
as long as you're stable. Generally speaking, you want to be the planting foot to be closest to the ball, right? So if I'm hitting a ball that's out here, this is going to be my planted foot, right? If I'm hitting a ball that's back here, this is going to be my planted foot.
like
if it's
here.
between my feet, they're both going to be planted.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Like that. Plant. Whoops. Like that plant.
Yep.
Oops. Whoops.
Oops. That's my own bad habit right there. I have a habit of moving through my slow volleys.
Ah.
And I'm working on that. Oops. Good.
That was back though.
That was excellent.
Almost did it. Oops.
I'll get that. Oh.
Oh, am I leaving? I'm leaving.
I'm well, thank you. Come on in. All right.
This whole issue that we're talking about might have something to do with my left piriformis.